Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of... no, for the last 2 weeks of February. It's going to be shorter than the main monthly reading because we're just covering that 2-week period from the 15th to the 28th of February. So to keep it short, I try not to pull any clarifiers too. Right? So the way that I structure these is slightly different to the mid-month, to the monthlies too, in so much as I'll look at the energy of where you are right now, and then I will look at what it is that being in that energy is trying to teach you at the moment, right? Sometimes it's trying to teach you a thing very overtly. I swear to God. Other times, it's preparing the road for something ahead, right? And I find it much easier to navigate that energy if I can kind of detach a little bit from what's going on right in front of me and see a bit further ahead. This is something that Aquarians are quite good at anyway, so you know, we'll see how it goes. If you are interested, I've done a 6-month overview for all of the signs, which the snow just fell off the roof, which is still available in the description box below. There is a link down there to that. It runs to, I think they all run to over an hour and a half, around about an hour and a half, so I think they're value for money, but they are. Yes, so let's have a look. Happy birthday, by the way, if your birthday has been thus far. I'm probably coming up on it. This will be coming into Pisces season very soon. I didn't mention that, sorry. Happy birthday. Right, tell me where Aquarius is right now, please. Thank you. Ooh. Interesting. So I'm using the Night Sun Tarot for you today, which I found interesting in and of itself because it's quite a dense deck, you know, in that way. We have the Two of Cups. No, we don't. We have the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And it is, you know, it's given to be a crossroads energy, but see here, it's quite different to the usual depiction of the two of Wands that we usually see. It feels like a straddling of an energy at the moment, and it's interesting that we've got this water here at the bottom, right? She's kind of pulled back from it a little bit, and the reason that I'm drawing attention to this is because of the cards that have come out for you here. We've got the Six of Cups there, we've got the Queen of Cups then, and we've got the Page of Cups and the Queen of Swords that came out together there, which is a very interesting set of cards, given that 3 of the 4 cards that are on the table are dealing with water, they're dealing with emotion, right? And this one here is collecting the emotion. This one here, well, both of these, in fact, have their feet right in the emotion there, right? So it's a real sense of contact. However, here we've got pulled back from a little bit. So it feels like there are things that you are dealing with at the moment on an emotional level that actually you're just trying to pull back a little bit from, and it feels like it's to gain some sort of perspective, right? The Six of Cups there is the past. You notice how she's like holding the cup up and she's gathering the water there, right? It's not something that she's actually in the same way as the others, right? It's not a present energy. She's kind of collecting it up, and it's like the memories dropping into the cup, you know? It can be childhood, but it can just be past, you know? Sometimes you see it for past lives. And it feels like it is a contemplation of the past. We're in Mercury retrograde at the moment, and it is in Aquarius, right? It's in your sign, so like it's particularly active for you, I would have thought. But it feels a lot like trying to get perspective on old things in order to release them and move them forwards. You know, we've got the Queen of Cups here, and interestingly, she's depicted as pregnant. Yeah, all of this is your present energy at the moment. It's not like we've got like past, present and future or you know, whatever going on, right? This is all in the here and now. So there's contemplation of the past for sure. But it looks like there's something new birthing from you here, right? In this act of contemplation that you're in at the moment, it is changing things. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the Page of Cups is the only one that has the flower of life in the backdrop. I don't think the camera can quite see it. And this is really interesting, right? We've got this examination going on here, and we've got this contemplation, this gestation almost of a new something for sure, but like a new perspective on what is going on here. And then we have this page, which is a new energy, right? But one with incredible insight behind it. The final card that you've got is the Queen of Swords, and I quite like this because, granted, it's not your energy specifically. It is Libra, actually. This is now like old woman. I've got a blanket over my legs because it's so cold. But she's an information sifter. Where I see your energy as the King of Swords is kind of like an arbiter, right? Deciding, taking a judgment between two things, right? The Queen of Swords is kind of like working out what is true, what is not, right? Sifting all of these things. And that feels like it's what's going on here for you emotionally. Why it is that you should choose to do it right now, it's likely because it's the retrograde energy. You know, that's exactly what it's for. It's for tying up loose ends. But for you, it doesn't feel quite like a tying up of loose ends. It feels more like a level of insight, emotional insight that's coming to you from a contemplation of past things, you know. And I think perhaps the reason that this Two of Wands is at the bottom of the deck, and it is, you know, she is making a point of being up out of the water, and she's looking down at it. Right? There's a real sense of kind of looking at where you've come from, but not wanting to get back down there, not getting in with it, you know? There's a sense of it changing, turning into something different. You changing and turning into something different from this emotional insight that you're getting, which is interesting. The Queen of Swords is how you process it and bring it forwards into your, you know, into your consciousness. Mentioned this before. I think all of the fixed signs almost universally experience trauma, right? Early trauma, I would say. But Aquarius are the ones who are least interested in letting anybody know about it, right? Well, Scorpio doesn't share it. Leo doesn't usually share it either. Taurus, they'll share it once they get to the point where they realise that it wasn't all their fault, right? But Aquarius are the least likely to allow it to affect anything moving forwards. The problem with that is that you quite often achieve that by a compartmentalization. And this feels a little bit like you kind of poked it with a stick and you're like, right, oh, come on, there's something in here that I need to know. This is good, right? You can't release something if you don't know what it is. And it feels like there's an introspection of sorts going on here. Maybe there's just something that's triggered off something somewhere and you're just a bit like, it's just uncomfortable. There's just something that it's touched. And so there's this, you know, standing on two posts and kind of looking into it, going, But definitely something is shifting in your understanding, perhaps of yourself, but certainly of where you came from, for whatever reason. Tell me about the lesson of this energy, please. About the lesson of this energy. What? We've got the Hermit. We've got the Page of Pentacles. Let's get one more. No, we've got two more. We've got the Seven of Pentacles and the Empress. That's interesting. Now, I had a whole heap of cards drop out, which I'm going to take because there were too many of them. We've got the Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Judgment card, all coming one after the other. So, there is something here of the... Yeah, we've got progression, and it feels like it's just like something small that needled you at some point, that you then got into a conversation with, right? So we've got this character here. Right? Notice the horns, right? Across two pentacles, juggling all of their practical, you know, business, keeping themselves level, all that sort of thing. But then we've got a discussion, right, between two of them, one older, one very much looking younger. And this feels like the two sides of you. You're having a chat with your younger self, because actually your younger self has got some interesting things to tell you. And then we've got the Judgment card, which is about the resurrection of something from the past, right? Sometimes it's a second chance energy, or sometimes it's about tidying things up and then just really putting them to bed. what this energy is trying to teach you is that there is value to be found inside of you. Now, we always have this thing about how Aquarians look at the horizon, right? Very rarely look at their own feet. They very rarely pay that much attention to what is going on in front of them, because you're also galactic and future facing, you know. But actually, sometimes going within, and that Two of Wands is about present energy. It's like the present act of doing something. Going within and having a look to see what gold is in there will help you move forwards, right? And it does seem to be that that's what's going on here. There's a shift in the way that you see things moving forwards because of the insight that you've got from the past. The Page of Pentacles is about a new start. All the pages talk to me about new starts in some way or another, but this is something quite practical. And often it's related to finally understanding the value of something, right? Newly discovering the value of something, and whatever it is that you're finding within you, it is extraordinarily helpful moving forwards, right? Why? Because we've got the Seven of Pentacles and we've got the Empress. Oh, I like this. So the Seven of Pentacles, for me, usually talks about a situation that you are not content with in some way or another right now. It feels to me like that situation actually is internal, right? There's something niggling. There has been something niggling. But this Empress is all about, she's the one who's usually depicted as pregnant, interestingly. I don't think I've ever seen a Queen of Cups pregnant before. It's usually the Empress. She's not here moving forwards. Like whatever it is, she's given birth to it and she's let it go. She's the archetypal mother. She is Taurus for me. She can be Libra as well because of the Venusian connection, but she has a broken egg on her lap. And the thing that I like most about this is that at her feet there is a cage, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There's a cage. She's kicked it over with her foot. Here, in the Queen of Swords, we have a cage that has a heart down here at her feet. And that is a nod to the fact that the Queen of Swords does not often bother looking at matters of the heart in anything other than, you know, a rational, logical kind of intellectual level, right? She's not really a card that you want to see come up too often in relationship readings, right? Except she's here and that heart is in a cage and put off to the side. Now, as a metaphor for the way that you deal with emotions, Aquarius, this could be quite on point. But the fact is that it's kicked over here and the heart is no longer in a cage. One assumes that the heart has been returned to where it needs to be, which is inside the body. Right? This is important because, like I said, it feels like there's a low-level niggle, and it's something quite important, actually. It's something really quite important. But the discovery of what it is and the insight that comes from noticing that it's there and then kicking that cage over and letting the heart out is really, really important. It lets you start something anew. Now, I seem to recall, it was your reading, where we were about to take off vertically. This feels like it's clearing the space, right, for whatever comes next. Because the vertical takeoff may not be for you, you know, a physical one. One would hope it's not a physical one, you know, literally like a rocket just up in the air. You know, it's something going on inside of you. The fact that we've used the Night Sun Tarot for you means that this is a spiritual, there is a huge spiritual dimension to what it is that you're you know, dealing with here. Maybe you're, you know, off traversing the astral plane, something like that. You may find your way there easier coming soon, because we've got the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. We've got new opportunities. In order to make space for new things to come in, you have to clear a bit of space, right? Clear some of the old stuff out and let the new stuff come in. And that seems to be what's going on here. It's a clearing of the way, but also getting you in the act of looking within at the same time, right? Let's get you some advice, please, for Aquarius. Advice for Aquarius, please. It's interesting. We have the Temperance card as the first card out. We also have the Ten of Pentacles. Now, usually when I don't get as many cards as I want, it's because there's a card already out on the table that wants to come out again. So let's give it the opportunity to do that. Interestingly though, what we have here at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles, and it does seem like it's something of old that you have been tethered to. Ace of Swords in the middle of the deck that you are not aware is there, and it's or haven't been aware is there, but now you're getting a sense of it. Now you see it for what it is. You are able to release it, and that seems to be the thing, because the Temperance card talks very much about healing, talks about hope, but it talks about, for me specifically, healing something that's been very difficult, right? And I don't think that you've known quite how difficult it was until you are starting to perceive it now. Guys. Whoa. Okay, well, not cards that had already come out, but I mean, it's a hell of a statement pair. So we've got your healing, or something that you didn't realise that was there, that needed a bit of a look at, right? And we've got the Ten of Pentacles, so that's really interesting, because that's a card of commitment to me. But I also decided that I thought often the Ten of Pentacles depicts that absolute snapshot in time where heritage and legacy collide, you know? You can sometimes see it for generational karma, and oh shit, maybe you're shifting a bit of generational karma, healing a bit of that for sure. But it's almost like reminding you that it's a good idea to have a look at where you've come from every now and again and see what you're bringing with you, so that you can commit to what comes next. Because we've got the Devil and the Magician. Like I said, hell of a statement pair. This is, it's about the toxic things, right? It's about fear. It's about the things that keep us shackled that we don't even often know that we're shackled to. But this feels like a purge, right? And it's asking you to absolutely commit to this action here, because the space that you create by releasing, you know, this devil and whatever this devil represents to you, puts you into a place of absolute manifestation. And this is what I was saying, right? And you about to take off vertically, right? It's about everything, being able to pull in an awful lot of things and manifest exactly what it is that you want moving forwards, right? How intriguing. Your readings are always intriguing, Aquarius. I really, really like them. But pay heed. If you take nothing else from this, know that there is there are important things to be found within you that will help you move forwards. Like sometimes this relentless refusal to look at the past and only ever be looking forward kind of gets you stuck in places. And that certainly seems to be what it is. I mean, a little bit stuck. Now's the time to let it go, release it, use the retrograde energy for what it's for, and get ready for what comes next, because it's exciting, you know. Maybe part of the taking off vertically is actually the discovery of this thing, you know, and where it was maybe keeping you tethered at the ankle, suddenly you're just released and you're gone, you know. That's the other way of looking at it. Gosh, I do love reading for you, Aquarius. It's so much, it's really interesting. Anyway, I hope that you found this useful, as ever, and know that I love you all very, very much. I'll see you soon.